1975, the year the Vietnam War finally ends. Bill Gates and Paul Allen start a little company called Microsoft, and Honda's Goldwing is born. 1988 sees the tragedy of the Lockerbie bombing. Prozac is introduced to the world, and the Goldwing gets 6 cylinders. 2001, and New York's Twin Towers are attacked. Dennis Tito becomes the first ever space tourist, and the Goldwing finally gets an update. 2018 has France on top of the footballing world. There's a new president for South Africa, and at long last, the Goldwing is once again updated.
Well, I say updated, but this is so much more than you'd expect from a mere update. It feels like a totally new bike, which I suppose it is, really. And with it being totally new, it also has a very different character. Yes, it's still a luxury tourer that can brush off huge distances with a bit of a shrug of its electric screen and its heated seats, but now the Goldwing has, well, a level of athleticism that it never had before.
The new Goldwing is physically smaller than the model it replaces, lighter, a bit more powerful, and stuffed with a whole load more gadgets. A combination that makes this bike feel significantly more modern. So much so that it is now on a par with the competition when it had previously fallen far, far behind.
Unfortunately, I've only got a relatively short time with this bike, which is a shame because it's exactly the sort of bike that you need to spend a very long time with to get to grips with its real abilities. It is, after all, about covering immense distances. Having said that, I have, in our short time together, already done just over 400 kilometers, and already I am hugely impressed. Let me try and tell you why.
The engine has still got 6 cylinders, and it keeps the 1833cc capacity, but it's smaller and a full 6 kilos lighter. It also gets a bump to 4 valves per cylinder and a modest hike in power to 125 horsepower. To all intents and purposes, it is an entirely new engine, and that's exactly how it feels on the road.
This means that the Goldwing is pretty bloody rapid when you want it to be. But it also means that all types of progress are just incredibly, effortlessly smooth because it is a 6-cylinder engine. And there again, because it is a 6, it also makes a really, really lovely noise. Touring bike my bottom. Oh dear, all of a sudden that is 170 k's an hour. No, it isn't, officer. No, it's not. It's not that sort of speed at all, because this is a touring bike.
Gracing this model is the latest version of Honda's dual-clutch transmission, now with an added 7th gear. A variety of modes determine how rapidly the gears change on the way up and down the box, with the sportiest mode holding on to lower gears for longer and changing down sooner. There's a walking mode as well for slow speed manoeuvring and a handy reverse gear for backing out of those awkward parking spaces.
Just like the engine, the gearbox is super smooth. Smooth like George Clooney auditioning for a part as Mr. Smooth. Smooth like a snooker table covered in cream. Smooth, well, smooth like anything you can think of, which is really, really smooth. And clever, too. Well, I just said that bit. It went all the way up to 6. It's now changed to 5th, 4th, 3rd. I have to keep looking at the numbers because I can't really feel it changing gear because it is, yeah, you guessed it, it's smooth.
The chassis is completely new. The twin spar layout shaves off 2 kilos and holds a single shock at the rear, and in a first for Honda, features a double wishbone unit at the front with a push bar contraption for the steering. Looks weird, but feels entirely normal. And the suspension, though not active, is electrically adjustable for differing loads and riding modes.
Perhaps the most startling thing about the Honda is just, oh look, leading into a corner, it didn't take any effort. And this is a big luxury Grand Tourer. How is that possible? It's totally composed, the ride quality is ace. I've still got it in tour mode, and you can actually attack a series of corners and enjoy them rather than be, and the brakes really work because I forgot about this speed hump. Good point to mention the brakes because they are ace, and because of the new suspension system, the twin girders up front, it doesn't dive excessively. So should you attack a series of corners and suddenly bottle it and want to back off a bit, no problem, the bike stays true and level. And even though it was in touring, as I said, it still is. There we go, a bit of one-handed lean. It's still poised, and yet if I go into the more sporty modes, the suspension firms up as well and it becomes even more of the sport bike. What on earth are you thinking, Honda? A bike that can do so many things? I wasn't expecting that. But a Goldwing, she doesn't mind. She likes them. She likes corners. At last! A Goldwing that likes corners. How utterly ridiculous is that? I love it.
The dash on the Wing is just so classy. Big analog dials for speed and revs and a lovely big colour screen for everything else. There's nowhere near as many buttons as there used to be, which is a good thing, and what's left make controlling the many features very easy. Hook your phone into the system and the display can be used for sat-nav. You can then make calls and operate the stereo. There's a stop-start engine system, which I have to admit I rather enjoyed, self-cancelling indicators, remote key operation, centrally locked panniers and fuel filler cap, and a load more stuff I haven't even got time to tell you about. And of course, there's traction control and a subtle ABS system.
Man, I just want to spend more time with this bike. It's not bad wind protection, but the screen isn't all the way up. Knocking on 160 k's there, possibly. It's still pretty quiet. Okay, heavy braking. Let's stamp on them. Ooh, listen to the tyres squeal.
Only about 50 k's or so to go now before I give the Honda back, and you know what? I wish it was a lot longer, because this is so much more of a proper motorbike than it ever used to be. Sure, the old model could crush those distances in proper style, but it just wasn't the sort of bike that you wanted to ride on shorter trips, you know, and actually have some fun doing the riding. And now, you know what, this is definitely that sort of bike. It's the sort of bike you'd take out for an hour on a Sunday because it is so much fun to ride. And in this DCT, guys, you'd be mad, by the way, to take the manual version. It's only 25 grand extra. It is, quite possibly, the perfect long-distance luxury tourer. Its only opposition is German. But if I had to choose between the two, I think I'd go Japanese.
I have to say,
Say it.
there has never been a single moment in my life when I have ever desired to swing a leg over a Goldwing, apart from now.
And I felt exactly the same thing.
This is astonishing.
Fantastic.
Hang on, I have no doubt it is fantastic to ride. I haven't ridden one yet, but something I can't get over, those panniers.
Okay,
I
let's
mean,
get into the
they can
negatives,
fit a-
because
they'll-
my test was... Carry on, let's shoot it down.
Can you fit a matchbox in them
A large
Several,
matchbox.
yes, you can.
with a bit of a squeeze? I
Yes.
mean, they are a bit pokey.
They're a
Come
bit
on.
pokely small, and you know the negative thing about it, you can't take them off.
So when you get somewhere, you're going to like...
Yeah, normally you would take them off and they become posh suitcases, don't they? And you wander
Yeah,
in
that is
and
a
you...
problem, yeah.
that seems a bit silly to me. And
But
they
you
are a
can't
bit,
put
they are a
anything
bit
in them.
small.
You can't put anything in them anyway, so it doesn't matter.
A couple of folded t-shirts.
That's what
But
you
you
need.
don't have
yes.
to carry into
Bow
the hotel
tie.
lobby.
Yes, in a spa plastic bag again. Yeah.
And I believe that might not be the largest fuel tank ever fitted to a bike.
Just under 21 litres. Now, with the usual gumph, I mean, they are right, the engine is much more efficient than it ever was. So they've said they've been able to reduce the tank size and keep the same sort of range, which is never brilliant. Where, look, the competition is up near 30 litres. So
Yeah.
I think they've missed a thing that you're not much over 300k is really your real range. Yeah, that is a negative. I think they missed something there. But for a big galactic starship thing, it's just really good looking.
It is.
It's a
It
desirable
is.
piece of kit, and I think, you know, with the size of the panniers, with the size of the fuel tank, they've been thinking, let's keep this looking swanky. Where,
Yeah, I'm okay with
rather
that.
than
At the expense,
at the
slightly
expense of
practicality.
practicality, yeah, a little bit.
But let's face it, I mean, it is really playing in a market where there is only realistically one other rival,
The
isn't there?
K16,
The K16 and a
the
BMW.
GTL, yeah.
I mean, look, you've got the big Harleys, you've got the big Indian Roadmasters, but they're, as you said, they're not playing in the same market, are
yeah,
they?
if someone's looking at an electric Glide or a Roadmaster, do they really think they're going to be buying a multi-cylinder, you know, packed with technology? It's not really a genuine
vice
alternative.
versa, are they?
No, the two markets are quite separate. The BMW has a significant advantage, though.
Which is?
Price, it's, I think, about 100 grand cheaper. The Honda's going for 392, which is not that much when you look at what the big Indians and Harleys
they're
are
up
going
to
for.
half a million,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're going in that stuff. So that's
Yeah.
what you pay for it. Look, it's an utterly, utterly brilliant bike. And the DCT, which I did rave about in the piece, has found its perfect home. That
Yeah.
7-speed automatic gearbox, it's made for that type of bike. So I wish to leave it there, gentlemen. The Goldwing is utterly, stupendously fantastic, with one or two tiny little niggles, which shouldn't make any difference about whether you buy one or not.
Well, can't say fairer than that, lad.